Sometimes I make videos knowing it won't get that many views just because I love to explain this subject. We're talking evolution of all Asian flags over the last 100 years by Force Man Big World. He's been making such incredible flag content. Please go subscribe. So we're starting the year 1924. This is a very important year for Asia and the world in general. This is the interwar period between World War I and World War II. And man, is there some chaos happening in Asia. And whether your favorite country is in this continent or not, you are very likely to see some outside powers show up in this video because there are many nations at their imperial height, like the French and the UK, as well as into World War II. Japan's going to take a lot of things over, as well as during the Cold War, the Soviets are going to take a lot of things over. And there's going to be a lot of flag changes with that. So yeah, those are the two big events that are going to really reflect a lot of the actions in this video, World War II and the Cold War. So we have Afghanistan already changing their flag. And if you know anything about Afghan flag history, you'll know they've done this a lot. They might have changed their flag more than anyone else in the last 100 years. And they do it not necessarily all for a singular reason. Okay, we have the Maldives putting the Islamic moon on their flag.
Maldives.
Why do I always mispronounce that? One thing I really love about this channel is the animation from the different flag evolutions. Okay, so we have now Saudi Arabia moving their flag to the sword at the bottom instead of the sword at the top, which that flag from 1926 still has a little bit more evolution to go through to get to the 2024 version. We've got Yemen with riding, but now just going with the sword. Really do like that sword. That's actually a cool flag. Oh man, if I keep pausing this video, this is going to be so long. There's the iconic, more iconic Afghan coat of arms over them. So China, well, first of all, we've got China technically going with this democratic one, but China at this time is going to go through a huge civil war. This is like the flag of Taiwan, because remember the history, that side is going to go to, oh, well, here's Taiwan as well. After the Chinese Civil War, that side is going to run to Taiwan. So the communists are going to win, but yeah, there's a huge warlord. I don't even think this video is going to go over the chaos that's happening technically in China right now, because before the Japanese attack in World War II, this place is just a complete mess. Interesting to see Nepal always kind of had a different design for their flag. That now looks a little bit more familiar. We have Syria with 3 stars. I wonder why they just got down to 2. I believe Syria is controlled by France currently in the 1930s. Now the 3 stars represent the unity of Egypt, Syria, and Iraq. Oh, but this is a different 3 stars earlier before that time, specifically under the French mandate. Yeah, so it is controlled by the French. So it's 1931, Afghanistan changing their flag again. Tajikistan, which currently is under control of the Soviet Union. We still have a couple more. Okay, so that's right. The Soviet Union is going to go through a bunch of flag changes, which is normal for what they do. Oh, nice. Throwing some scissors across Bahrain. Again, I love these animations. More wavy out of Qatar. Nice. Okay, so now it's even closer to looking like what we recognize from the Saudi Arabian flag. Iran throwing the, again, man, this region of the world really loves their swords. I love swords on flags. We should do that more often. It's 1935. Again, Uzbekistan's getting, who's a part of the Soviet Union at this time, getting a little bit of flag updates, or maybe more like, I should say, font updates. Did Qatar change it because, well, it doesn't really matter, but there is a couple people that are doing some different things. It's 1937. Got to throw that hammer and sickle. Oh, is this the hammer and sickle days? Yes, because I know that they did. Oh, not necessarily everyone's getting a hammer and sickle, but a lot of them definitely are. We've got Russia, which is under the Soviet Union, is a part of the Soviet Union. Oh, that's really big. It's really thick font. Did that say TSSR? Oh man, the transitions. Okay, it's 1939. Technically, World War II has started, and we're going to see that reflected here in the flags. So some of these nations, you know, we're talking about Asia. The part of the USSR in Europe obviously gets taken over by the No-No Germans. I'm not sure anything's going to happen much to Central Asia and that part of the USSR. Okay, it's 1940. Technically, no flag changes yet. I don't know why the Soviets decided to do this. Now, this is before the No-No Germans attacked in 1940. That's going to happen in 1941. There's Kuwait, which adds, that looks like a download symbol, like a sideways download symbol. We've got Mongolia, who's just in a really weird position, smashed in between China and the chaos that's happening between Japan and China. That is happening right now. Tajikistan, again with another flag update. I kind of like that. Well, that's cool too. I do like those different forms. Was this something that they really were doing during World War II? Kind of seems like, okay, so China's going to start taking over a lot of, Japan is going to start taking over a lot of Asia. That's why that flag, interesting use. Now, I'm assuming this channel did not want to include the Imperial Japanese flag in this video because that is an offensive flag, especially in Asia. The rising sun flag, you're not supposed to use that. So the Philippines also is going to have that. which I believe the Japanese still have that as their naval flag to this day, interestingly enough. Okay, so it's 1945, bam. World War II is already done. I actually thought there'd be a lot more flag changes in this video, but I guess not. So as you just saw, the Indonesians got their independence after the Japanese got kicked out, but they were controlled by the Dutch here in the Netherlands. China has united to kick out the Japanese, but now they're about to get into their civil war once again. We're also going to see the decolonization of South Asia. We'll see some fighting in North Korea and South Korea, and then we will get to, of course, the dissolvement of the USSR. So this is Indonesia changing their flag to what we know, Mongolia. Okay, so that's also a flag that we're familiar with here in 2024. Myanmar goes back under British control. They will get their independence. Look at that, North Korea getting the South Korean flag momentarily. The Philippines going and getting their own independence. So that's South Korea. I guess briefly the Korean Peninsula was united, but yeah. Oh, that's right, the Vietnam War. We have to see the Vietnam War. That's going to be pretty interesting. At least reflected in flags. So Bangladesh has officially become East Pakistan. It's a part of Pakistan as a whole, though. So India is now going to get their Indian flag. There it is right there. There's going to be a war. Bangladesh will get their independence eventually. Here's Laos. Okay, so French Indochina is going to also get their independence. That's the Pakistan, I guess West Pakistan. I don't know if they said that was West Pakistan. Cambodia, no longer under the French colonial empire. There's now Israel that has been established. Myanmar, which has, I never knew that Myanmar had that flag briefly. Now officially North Korea has happened. The Korean War is about to take place here soon enough. Here is Palestine in 1948. Here's Sri Lanka also becoming an independent island off the coast of the independent India. We're entering into 19... So this is around the Cold War period. Bam, 1949. The Chinese Civil War is pretty much over. The communist side has won, and Taiwan is now going to keep their blue flag. I don't think it's even going to get updated. We already saw it. It currently has the flag. Oh, I actually did not even know that was a different version of the South Korean flag. I really guess I should learn more of the Korean alphabet. I don't know if those are Korean alphabet letters, but I think I would have recognized it if I spoke Korean, I would assume. Malaysia now is officially independent, I guess. Sri Lanka is going to get rid of, well, they're going to kind of just switch the things. They're going to keep that yellow border around. I do like the brief period where there's yellow in, I'm just now realizing Georgia's classified as Asia. I feel like Georgia's on that border where maybe they could be European, but I'm glad they were included in this video. So there's going to be a little bit more blue involved in USSR as they, again, for some reason, feel the need to hype up and change their flags at this time. Uzbekistan getting the blue strip. Kazakhstan got to get their blue strip. They still have firmly that blue. There's a little bit of green there. Tajikistan, they're getting green for some reason as well. Man, I like that other one, though. I gotta admit, I like that other one. Again, I guess the communists... Oh, there really was a different star. Vietnam maybe going with a more like China-style version of their star. They probably would not like if I said that, I would assume. Oh, they flipped the dragon around. They still need to do a little bit of updates there. Syria gets rid of one of the stars, goes down to their 2. That's why I was kind of confused and interested there. Iraq with the weird sun. Singapore is now independent from the British Empire. Have they been kicked out of Malaysia just yet? Here goes Cyprus. So Cyprus is now its own little island. So we're seeing decolonization. It's mainly just the British. I mean, the French did have French Indochina. They've already released all that stuff. The British are now having to let go of their own Asian holdings here. Kuwait with their cool thing. Okay, so they did come back with the 3 stars. I like the 3 stars, to be quite honest, but I guess they got rid of it because of the representation purposes. See, man, Yemen, come on. I don't know about that. I did like, Iraq now has the 3 stars. And Syria is going with their colors that were a little bit more familiar back there. Iran's going to shrink their shield of armor, their shield. They randomly rotated the stars. Palestine with their little fold in the corner. These islands really love to update this. It's 1969 now. Will we see some sort of reflection out of the Vietnamese flag? Something I was talking about briefly with some of my friends recently. You'll notice in Southern California, only the South Vietnamese flag shown here. Like if you go to a Vietnamese store or restaurant, it's way more likely you'll see this version than the current, red background with the big yellow star. And that's because the Vietnamese people that you meet here in the US are very likely from the South. The North was obviously the side that won. So when the South surrendered, a lot of the people moved to the US. They still show this flag, though, which I find fascinating. We've got the UAE with, I don't even know what that shape is really called. Is it like it's not a I was gonna say hexagon. It's clearly not that. Cambodia, the Cambodia. I don't want to think about Cambodia in the 1970s. We have Oman with a little bit more familiar. We're starting to see some of these. Oh, that's right. Bangladesh is about to get their independence. And UAE. Okay, yeah. So some of these flags are already a little bit more familiar. I think because we're nearing towards the end of the video. Oh, I didn't even realize we have different. Oh, that's so nice. The video is actually divided into all the different big eras that's happening. Okay, so finally Bhutan. There we go. That's a familiar Bhutan flag. I don't even really recognize the difference there in Sri Lanka. Syria not going down to their normal stars amount. There's the Saudi Arabian flag. I like the other one. Personally, I like the other one. That's what I find fascinating about this video. Sometimes I see older versions. Myanmar again hasn't come up with the flag that we recognize today. Cambodia is now no longer going through their horrible past. East Timor is going to change their flag again. There's Laos. Oh, here we go. Okay, so they're going to have that briefly. And here's Afghanistan. Oh, that's right. So we have the Soviets' invasion of Afghanistan. They're going to make the mistake before we here in the U.S. do the mistake, which is just not mess with Afghanistan. 19. Oh, no. Finally, no flag changes. Man, I just realized there's constantly flag changes happening every single year. Okay, so Iran. There we go. That's a bit more familiar. Syria now back to their 2 stars in the 80s. So the big change, the big event that we need to look forward to now is what? Why are we focusing on? Okay, I'm not really sure why. I thought we were gonna see it. I thought that flag was normal. Okay, so we're gonna see the fall of the Soviet Union, and that's gonna change a lot of flags here. And I guess the fall of communism in general, but overall, because we're focused on Asia, we're really just gonna see the Soviet Union, because those communist flags are gonna kind of disappear. So there goes Armenia, so everything in the Caucasus Mountain region, I should say. Azerbaijan, it's 1991, so here goes the collapse. They better do Kazakhstan last, because remember, Kazakhstan was the last official member of the Soviet Union. Before, yes, there it goes. Love that little detail. I think we are going to do Kazakhstan last. But we haven't even updated Kazakhstan's flag. Did Kazakhstan technically keep their flag for longer? Oh, there we go. 1992. Okay, that's fine. They might have not been in the Soviet Union, but they still decided to keep the flag. I mean, that's probably the last thing they were concerned about, is changing their flag during the time as chaotic as the Soviet collapse. So here goes Palestine. Why do we... Oh, there really is really small changes. I'm just not noticing it. Okay, so Philippines decided to raise that saturation bar. So did Japan. There's all those memes about how Japan changed their flag in 1999 to be a little bit of a different shade of red. Afghanistan's really going to be the big one that only decides... Okay, there goes East Timor getting their independence from Indonesia. It's really going to be just a lot of Afghanistan. Georgia. Oh, wow, I didn't know Georgia just changed that flag in 2004. I didn't realize it was that recent. Cyprus with a slight update. Very, very slight. Here goes Iraq. We have Myanmar finally. Wow, Myanmar just changed their flag. That is so much more recent than I expected. And now Afghanistan's going to be the most recent one in 2021, going with the white background. And yes, that is the most recent one here in Asia in 2024. Absolutely love that video. There's so much to talk about. Love the animation and love these styles of videos by Forceman Big World. Please go subscribe. Big thanks to my patrons. You can find a link in the description down below to support me. The beautiful Megan Underwood. Drum your dad. Back with the milk. Look outside. A fat I normal. Cannot sleep without Jack Drew's voice. Traven's annoying amateur friend. Archaeology. Carmel Saida. InquisitorXarius. JohnDenver. KirinoIsBestGirl. Sebby, if you hear this. I love Tamrin. The Great Mexican 760. And ZaneyBoi.